Time for Entre Nous. On the show today, we are pleased to speak to Arthur Jean, author of La France Made in USA. Now, the book explores the influences of American culture in France. Arthur, thank you so much for joining us on the program today. You're French, you grew up in France. Was there something about your childhood or something you experienced that sparked this idea for a book?
It's not one thing in particular. It's probably a whole thing, which is like watching TV, the way I dressed. It's just the way I grew up, basically, that I realized I grew up in an American way as much as I grew up in a European way. So it really is linked to my childhood and the way I grew up, being fascinated by American culture that made me want to understand why I was so influenced by it.
So this is more than just television shows. This is more than just McDonald's. Give us some examples that America touches France that we may not think about.
Well, a very specific example would be Disneyland. I don't know if it's one that we're not thinking about because it's a bit obvious, but it's one that, for example, really touched me because I used to go at least once a year with my family, and it is the most popular touristic location in France. It's more visited than the Louvre, for example, which people don't necessarily realize. So I think it's a really good example of something very American that transports French people to American culture. People think of Mickey Mouse, people think of Donald Duck. They don't even think they're American, but it's a very American experience that they put right next to Paris.
So do you see this as a form of soft power or more is something more sinister?
I see it as a form of soft power personally, and through the research that I made, it's actually even more interesting because, yes, there's the United States having an attractive culture, but there's also French people naturally being attracted by it and importing it by themselves, even without the power of the US. A good example is McDonald's. McDonald's did not want to expand to France because it would not make sense to have fast food in a country known for for high cuisine. So they did not want to go there, but it's actually a French businessman who imported it and said, "I'm going to make French people eat burgers," and it worked so much more. So McDonald's ended up suing that businessman and buying his restaurant so that they could expand in France. So even American people did not believe in it. It's French people who were more interested.
And now you get very good burgers outside pretty much everywhere you go here in France.
Yes.
Now, when I was growing up, I remember that there were laws in France to push back on this Americanization or the anglicizing of culture here in France. I remember there was a law to limit the number of non-French songs on the radio. Do you think these laws go far enough?
I think these laws were made naturally because France is more attracted by American culture than other countries. So it's natural that there was this pushback. Do they go far enough? I don't know, because I don't know if laws can really do much against something as natural as French people themselves being interested in something. Especially today with internet, laws can ban certain music, certain movies, but people would find ways to watch them. So I don't know if we can go any further than that. France is actually pretty unique in the way they support movies, in the way they support the music industry, in the way they support the arts in general, because they want to preserve it. I don't know if there's a lot of countries that are able to do that.
Arthur,
So I think France is pretty unique in that sense.
we're running out of time, so I need to make sure I ask
Okay.
you this very important question. France takes a lot of things from America, but there's certain things it doesn't take. In the United States, you can reach the top of a company if you come from some random country. You do the hard work. You can rise to the top. In France, it's a lot more rigid. You know that as well as I do. It's very, very rare from someone outside the grandes écoles who do everything the right way, who come from the right families to rise to the top. Why do you think that is? That on one hand, France is so eager to take everything from the US, whether it comes from clothing, food, but on other aspects of life, it pushes back very hard.
I think you just described the French paradox here because French people are interested in American culture. They're interested in soft power in movies and music, but they remain French. They are not American. They would not become American. And we have seen this in so many ways in the way we see enterprise and the way we see working. This is definitely a good example of that.
Arthur, we're going to have to leave it there, unfortunately. Arthur, Jean's book, La France Made in USA, is a definitely interesting read. Thank you so much for joining us on the program today.
Thank you very much.